Well, we have quite a lot on the table already. We have several religions. We have the sacred text, and we have the dilemma of human life. So where do we start? I'm going to let Prasad help me. Prasad, can you say what it was in the Bhagavad Gita that helped you stay in college?
Well, what I got out of the Bhagavad Gita, I was like about 17 years old, and I was not too happy in college, and I was thinking of dropping out. And the concept that I picked up, and which helped me stay in college, was understanding one's duty and sticking to that.
Right.
And we always have, we can rationalize, we can, when we look at a conflict and you hit a fork in the road, it's always easy to say that, well, I was not meant for engineering, and I really liked something else, and use that as an excuse to drop out of the engineering school. But I said, you know, my parents sent me, and I should at least try harder, and my duty as a student is to study. Wonderful. So that kind of reinforced, you know, what is your duty. So in a sense, the Gita is you can think of it as situational dharma. Dharma is the Indian concept of doing intrinsically the right thing. Every situation, every person, every role has an intrinsic right thing to do. It actually comes from the root. It means
isn't that it's the same as the righteousness in the Western tradition? Dharma is same as,
but it is not absolute. It depends upon the situation, and the conflict in the Mahabharata is you know, between, you know, the good guys and the bad guys, to kind of very simply put it. But it really is an allegory, and it's a metaphor for the conflict that rages within us. The good side and the bad side. We all have both the tendencies, and how we deal with that. And Krishna actually starts off with a very reassuring statement. The very first verse in which he speaks, which is in the 2nd chapter, the 11th verse, he basically says that all of our grief, all of our angst, all of our anxiety is unwarranted. That is so reassuring.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
Well, with that, let me have you pick it up. Explain to us the setting of the Gita in, say, 2 sentences. Right. You have the Krishna here, you have Arjuna, and then there's a war broken out between 2 sets of cousins. Right. Just describe that to us the way you know it.
Well, there's lots of controversy about the battle, whether it was a real battle or whether it's, as you said, allegorical, which is what Gandhi said it was. And that interpretation, I think, is the dominant one. Some people say it doesn't matter if it was a battle. Other people say it matters that it was not a real battle, because if it were a real battle, and if Krishna really said go and fight, that would be complicated for all of us who would like to be there to be less fighting, less war. So your emphasis on duty is, I think, one of the key teachings of the Gita. So you were helped in your life by a proper understanding, and it's I think really wonderful that you had that insight, because Krishna does say to Arjuna just at the beginning of this horrendous war, when they're all going to be killed. I mean, there's just, at the end, there's probably going to be one person standing. And Arjuna, in the Civil War, right, it's like a film, you know, you can just see these 2 sides with their armor, and they're ready to throw spears. And Arjuna, a warrior, and in the right place in terms of his life assignment, turns to his charioteer, who he doesn't know is anything special, he's just charioteer, and says, basically, hell no, I won't go. I'm not going to fight this war. This is crazy. Who's going to take care of the women and the schools and the children and the police force and the finances and the farming?
Yeah, that is true, Robert. Most people actually do believe that it's a mythic war, and it really is an allegory. And it really does not matter if the war really happened or not. I mean, there are many people who have a pacifist leaning are probably troubled by, did Krishna really ask Arjuna to fight? I know it troubles them, and we can talk about it later. But most people believe that it really is an allegory, and it kind of transcends the issue. Arjuna is you, Arjuna is me, Arjuna is Kal, Arjuna is every man. And it's really the human conflict, and it is kind of universal, and it applies to all cultures. It is timeless. So it really is a very, very broad applicability.
Right, and it certainly had the right impact on you, because you could see this God, Krishna, saying, get back where you belong.
Yeah, but within the Gita itself, one of the slokas, it says that this war is within you, Arjuna.
Yeah.
Krishna says, this war is within you, this war between the good and the bad.
Right.
Whether it's allegorical or not, we can spend an awful lot of time about the allegory or real war, but the content, the main concepts, just like if you were to read the Bible, you know, the 10 Commandments is one of the cornerstones of the Bible, so much so, the fight, the karma, the duty, the yogas, the love, and all of those concepts are still the same. So I think we ought to transcend and go beyond the allegory and leave the philosophical discussion. Just talk about it as to what Gandhi said with respect to allegory or not, and what Aurobindo said with respect to whether it is real, and therefore we ought to fight the British. They used this scripture, like we use the Bible in the Western world, to either support or oppose one side or the other. Gandhi said we ought to go with love as the main criteria. Aurobindo said, no, we ought to fight the British, right? So with that, I would like you to continue the discussion.
Okay. Well, agreeing with Prasad, it's Gandhi's interpretation that has prevailed. Most people, even if without scholarship particularly, and Gandhi didn't have a lot of scholarship, just he had human experience and a lot of wisdom, and he recognized that what we as individuals and communities need is some guidance. And so he, in a certain sense, he began his reading of the Gita where you did, in chapter, or you actually, chapter 2, right around verse 11, and he emphasizes the second chapter and the third chapter, and unlike some other commentators, particularly Sri Aurobindo, who goes flying past the second and the third chapter to chapters 9, 10, and 11, where Krishna reveals himself as a god. And for Gandhi, that's not so important. So there are many, you could almost say there are many Gitas, but it's more accurate to say there are many strands or traditions woven in the Gita. And the one that, in a certain sense, we all need to learn from, rely upon, be inspired by, is this karma yoga, the yoga of action, since we're all involved with action in some way. And Gandhi says, that's the teaching right there. Pay attention to that. That's something we can understand. So whether we're on the firing line of a battle, or we're raising children, or building a business, or running a school, or farming, we all have to work. And when we work, we should work without attachment to the fruits of our action. We should try to do what is right because it is